Hello, hello everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to today's class. I'm super excited to have you guys all here with me today. It is a very cold morning here in Florida, so I was trying to stay bundled up. If you guys have any questions, please place them in the Q&A section and I will answer them throughout the duration of this class. I'm really excited for today's class. It's a really cool and fun topic. So today we're going to be talking about the roles of telomeres and how they support cellular longevity, which is really cool. So this is going to be Hallmark number 2 in our DermaVerse series. So super, super exciting. Again, if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the Q&A section and we will go ahead and go over them. So let's go ahead and get started with today's class. Well, welcome to the DermaVerse in case this is your first class with us. So the DermaVerse is our new 2026 educational track that we will be taking place with. This is really cool because we're going to be talking all about our new educational series that's really rooted in that longevity science and taking that modern approach. So that way we have system-based skin biology, right? So we understand how the skin is working, why those ingredients are working, and how we can use them to our benefits in the treatment room and when we're retailing to our clients. So this is going to be an ongoing educational track that we'll have for all of 2026. And we're going to go through the biological hallmarks of aging. So we already did part 1, which was all about inflammaging. And then today we're going to be talking all about telomeres. So we'll be talking about, fundamental mechanisms and how those drive skin ages, cellular, metabolic, and functional levels. So really good in-depth series that we'll be taking part of. And this was developed by a group of scientists trying to understand why organisms age. That's how hallmarks came up. So this month we'll be focusing all on the roles of telomeres, which is going to be super, super exciting. And in case you guys did not know, we are celebrating 25 years this year. Super exciting. We wouldn't have been able to do this without all of your love, your support, and everything that you guys, our clients, do for us. So we are so eternally grateful. We have so much great things in store, all the way from shows to new education that we're coming out with, as well as little giveaways and freebies. And speaking of that, if you registered for today's class, you can use the code TMME in all caps, and you will get a free Oceuticals B5 gel. That is one of our newest products, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So make sure you use that code and get your free B5 gel. But we have a lot of exciting giveaways this year, and we're going to be doing a lot to really highlight Dermastart and showcase our 25 years of excellence that we've had. So thank you guys again for being here with me, not only today, but for the last 25 years. We really greatly appreciate it. And let's get into a little bit about Dermastart in case you guys aren't familiar and this is your first class with us. So Dermastart is a multifunctional and adaptable skincare line for all skin types, tones, and textures. So what we mean by that is we are mindful of each individual skincare need as they relate to your overall well-being. And by that, we mean our line is completely customizable through any stage of your client's life. Whether it's a preteen dealing with a little bit of that acne and congestion, starting to have those skin concerns, all the way up to your more advanced clients dealing with things like glycation, thinking hyperfriction, melasma, severe acne, we are able to fully transition no matter what phase they're in, which is something that I truthfully appreciate and I love about our line. We are also specifically formulated to treat the depleting and damaging effects of stress on skin using pure and potent ingredients. So we use the best professional resources available. And we will always, always be cruelty free. If you've ever spoken to Sherry, you know how important animals are to her and also to me too as well. So we will always be cruelty free. And we are also known for our ability to offer the highest quality products at affordable pricing. So we are a lot more affordable in comparison to any other clinical line on the market, which is something I really love. We also have a drop ship program, which I always suggest that my clients take part of. We also have affordable shipping on all online orders and no minimums ever. So you are able to purchase as needed, which is huge. And we do free classes such as the one that we're doing here today, but we also have a lot of really great paid education as well. So if you take a look on our website under the education tab, there will be a classes sub tab. All of our new education will be up there. So we have a lot of really great intimate brightening master classes there, a new acne class, which is super exciting. And we rotate those all monthly with our free classes. So make sure that you stay up to date there. But yeah, super excited, and let's go ahead and get into it. Melissa said, what was that code? The code for the free B5 gel is capital TMME. Okay, perfect. And then I'll also make sure to let you guys know at the end of class 2 as well, just so that way we have that there as well. But getting into today's class, Hallmark number 2. So today's class objective, we're going to be talking about a few different things. So we are going to be talking about the foundations of cellular aging. We're also going to be talking about telomeres, inflammation, and oxidative stress, and how those kind of relate to the skin and why it's important to know about those. We will also be talking about the skin function as well, because it's going to coincide with everything that we are speaking about, and how supporting telomeres in the aesthetic treatment is going to also enhance our results, and also what to look out for, so we know how to target it. We'll also be talking about our Dermastart protocols, so mapping telomere compromised skin, and also talking about cellular longevity in the treatment room and how we can translate that to our clients so we can make it tangible and easy to digest for them as well, which will be super exciting. So getting into the biological hallmarkers, so first and foremost, we are going to be talking about the roles of telomeres. So this is Hallmark number 2. Again, we already did a Hallmark number 1 in January, so now we are on Hallmark number 2. So scientists categorized these hallmarks into step-by-step breakdowns based on the proposed hierarchy of when they manifest, of when symptoms manifest in that aging process, right? And what this breakdown is doing is it's helping us to illustrate the progress from initial cellular damage all the way up to the systematic decline, right? Because we know as we age, things kind of start moving slower and slower, right? So we need to understand why that's happening. And here at Dermastart, we really wanted to remind each one of you that within the industry, the importance of conveying that message to our clients, right? So your role in the treatment room and how we can relay this to our clients. So it's not only tangible and we give them solutions, but it's also digestible, right? Because when we're talking in our lingo of esthetician talk, right, they're going to be confused and they're not going to understand. So it's really important to make sure that it is digestible, it's understandable, and then we give them tangible results to take with them home so they know exactly what to do, which I think is something that's super important. And we really want to work on that damage prevention and also protecting, right? So we want to make sure that we are educating our clients, talking about that antioxidant defense support, reducing inflammation, helping with that barrier preservation. So this educational tract is really great because we're going to break it down not only into the hallmark that we're talking about, but also into pillars. So that way you know how to identify the dominant stress drivers and also how to restore that skin function as well, which will make it a lot easier to understand. So let's go ahead and get into the introduction of telomeres. So talking about telomeres, this is a really cool and interesting concept. So telomeres are aging is going to start from the moment that we're born. So the second you are born, you're starting that aging process, right? And it's inevitable and we cannot prevent it. So you're going to start aging right when you're born, right? And think of telomeres kind of as shoelace tips, right? So the telomeres are going to keep those chromosomes from unraveling. And every time that cell divides, right, that protective cap is going to get shorter and shorter and shorter, right? And once it gets too short, the cell actually can't function properly or repair itself properly, right? And that's where we start to see that aging and that delaying and that damage and all of that. So you can see why telomere protection represents the body's primary defense against aging and why it's so important. So when we're talking about telomeres, right, we know that these are going to be protective, right? And think of them again like shoelace end caps. So these are going to help our chromosomes, and they're made up of that same DNA pattern that's repeated over and over and over again. So it's kind of like that safety buffer, but it also is going to keep our cells' genetic material from frying or breaking down. So you can see here, this is what is going to be our telomere or our protector. And when that cell kind of hits retirement sooner than planned, that's where you see them going down and getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And with that, the role of telomeres and why they're so important is because telomeres aren't going to be unlimited, right? Every time that cell is going to divide, it is going to get a little bit shorter and shorter and shorter until it slowly kind of burns out and kind of goes, right? So once that telomere becomes too short, that cell is going to stop receiving those signals and it can no longer divide. And this is where that cellular senescence comes in. So you can think of it kind of like your cell retiring and kind of clocking out, right? But the problem is retired cells don't leave, and that's where we're going to see that chronic inflammation that creates that kind of hostile cellular environment where that accumulative DNA damage is going to disrupt that cellular signaling and also hinder that repair process, right? So what we want to do is we want to protect that blueprint of renewal, right? Healthy telomeres are going to equal skin that's going to repair better, age slower, and respond more predictably to those treatments that we're doing. So telomeres really do matter because they are going to directly influence how long the skin is going to be able to function, repair itself, and regenerate itself effectively, right? So when we're looking at the skin, it's really important to know that fibroblasts are going to rely on healthy telomeres to produce that collagen and elastin, while keratinocytes are going to need telomeres for that integrity, right? So for that proper barrier function and to help with that turnover. Our melanocytes are going to need our telomeres because they are going to help to create that stable signal that they need and help to regulate that pigment evenly rather than it kind of going haywire and all over the place. So once those telomeres kind of go out way too quickly and they shorten way too quickly, that's going to be from, things like inflammation, oxidative stress, UV exposure, or just over treatment, right? Overdoing it with our skin. And that's where they're going to lose their ability to repair and to actually properly communicate. And that's where that spiral kind of starts, right? So we want to try to protect them as much as we can. So that way we can have that cellular longevity and help with that repair process and help to reduce that inflammation and oxidative stress that we can see. So when we're talking about the skin secret to longevity, right, we want turnover, replication, and DNA protection. So when we're talking about cellular turnover, right, we know cellular turnover is going to be that skin's renewal cycle, right? So that is when our skin is constantly replacing old cells with new cells. And when that becomes slower, right, what's going to happen is that dead skin cells are going to build up. That dullness is going to start. You're going to start seeing those clogged pores and uneven skin tone, right? And when we have healthy telomeres, that is actually going to help with minimal cellular stress. And that is actually going to keep that cycle running efficiently. So the skin can stay radiant, it can stay resilient, and it can stay nice and happy, right? And that kind of leads us to that cellular replication. So that's going to be all about making those new skin cells. So every time a skin cell divides, what's going to happen is it's going to need a healthy cell with DNA so that way that telomere can replicate properly. And if a telomere is too short or that DNA is damaged in any way or the cell can't divide, it's going to cause a slower repair process. And it's also going to lead to more thin, frail skin, fine lines, and poor healing, right? So that means our skin is not going to have that same response. So it's really important to make sure that when we're talking about replications, it's kind of like our skin's production line. So it's producing that collagen, it's producing that elastin, it's helping with that barrier protection as well, and helping with those barrier proteins also. And then that leads us into our DNA protection, right? So we want to keep that blueprint safe, like we had just talked about, because when we have DNA damage from, UV, pollutants, inflammation, or even accelerated stress can cause a lot of aging. Protecting that DNA is going to be all about preserving that cell function and reducing that inflammation, because this is going to prevent that premature aging and that loss of elasticity. So think of it kind of like it's protecting us from, that instruction manual. So it's kind of the blueprint of what we need to do to keep the skin functioning properly and to keep it nice and healthy to support that long-term skin health as well. And telomere health is going to be so most important, especially in aesthetics, right? Because when we're talking about telomeres and how they are that lifespan timer for each of our cells, when they're shortened too quickly, what happens is the cells are going to stop dividing, and that leads again to that slower repair and that poor healing. And that's going to increase inflammation. And when inflammation is increased, that's where we're going to see things like redness, pigment issues, and even more reactivity in the skin that maybe once wasn't happening before. And that collagen and elastin production is going to greatly decline. And that's going to lead to things like loss of firmness, fine lines, things like that. So it's important that instead of just treating the surface symptoms like, wrinkles, pigment, or sensitivity like we're used to, but that we also support that telomere health so that way those cells can help themselves as well. It's really important to know that if your cells can't function properly, no amount of exfoliation, serums, or treatments are going to give you those long-lasting results that you're looking for. So really by focusing on that telomere health, we as estheticians are going to be able to protect, we're going to be able to repair and maintain the skin at a cellular level. And that's going to give our clients more predictable, long-lasting, long-term results that they're looking for, which is why they come to us. And when we're talking about telomeres and telomere longevity, what happens to the skin when those telomeres kind of like clock out and they retire, right? So it's not just about the age, it's also going to reflect in declining cellular resilience. So you can see here in this image, there's going to be loss of firmness and elasticity, delayed healing, crepey, very thin, frail skin, and heightened sensitivity. And this is what telomere attrition skin looks like, right? So recognizing them early allows us as professionals to kind of pivot towards that barrier first inflammation aware technology and protocols, while also focusing on the longevity of the skin and looking for longevity focused protocols as well. So that way, instead of rather escalating the intensity of the treatment, we're building that tolerance and also slowly but surely getting them to where they need. Because remember, slow and steady always wins the race. Being faster and more aggressive is not always going to be better, especially depending on what you are trying to treat and what your client's lifestyle is like as well. So when we're talking about telomere attrition and we're talking about the 4 pillars of skin health, this is going to be really important. So we really want to master the guidelines to make understanding skin products and ingredients a lot easier. So we have our 4 pillars, and within those 4 pillars, we are going to have biomarkers. So if we're breaking it down, pillars are going to be the framework of the skin function, while the biomarkers are going to be those indicators with or targets within that framework. So what we are looking to treat. So when we're talking about the structural pillar, that is going to be our architectural and mechanical resilience of the skin. So when we're talking about telomere attrition, this is directly going to undermine the skin's structural framework. And what we mean by that is as those telomeres, again, are shortening, those fibroblasts are going to lose their ability to divide and optimally function, right? And that's going to lead to things such as loss of collagen, loss of elasticity. Our excellular matrix is not going to be able to be in production as well as it was before. And that's going to result in things like thinning skin, loss of firmness and elasticity, and also just the overall health of the skin is going to be compromised, right? So it's really important that we are looking for these signs so we know how to treat them. Then we have our second pillar. This is going to be our molecular pillar. So this is going to be all about that biochemical signaling and that cellular pathway as well. So when we're talking about a molecular level of telomere attrition, that is going to be all about the triggers. So DNA damage is going to respond and shift those cells into senescent cells. And once those senescent cells secrete that inflammatory mediator or SASP, you may hear it kind of be called both, or SAPS, so you can hear kind of either name, that is going to lead to oxidative stress, that matrix degrading enzyme, and that is going to disrupt our normal cellular communication. So kind of think of it like a roadblock. And this is going to create prolonged aging environment before those cells are able to accelerate as they're supposed to. So this is like that chronic inflammation that we see, that oxidative stress, that poor response to those actives. That is how you're going to see those biochemical signaling and cellular pathways kind of communicating with each other. Then we have our functional barrier. So functional barrier is going to be all about the physiological and performance of that dynamic processing of the skin. So when we're talking about functionality, shortened telomeres are going to reduce cellular turnover, and they are going to regenerate capacity or regenerative capacity, and also that repair speediness. So you're going to see things like delayed healing. The skin is going to rebound poorly after those treatments that we do, and it's going to become less adaptable to those corrective protocols. So what kind of once worked before is no longer going to work, and you might be a little bit confused, like what is happening, right? So it's really important that we are, taking this into account. And, as we experience that slower healing and that prolonged redness and treatment tolerance, that is going to show us that, okay, there's something here that we need to target and what we need to change. Then we have our barrier pillar. So this is going to be all about the skin being in homeostasis and having that first line of defense. So when telomere attrition compromises those keratinocytes, that renewal, and that lipid synthesis, that is going to lead to a weakened barrier. And this is going to increase things like our transepidermal water loss. It's going to heighten our sensitivity. And it's also going to impair that defense against those environmental stressors, causing a weakened barrier. And that is going to further accelerate that telomere damage that's happening. And it kind of creates a very vicious cycle. And this is going to manifest as things like, dryness, reactivity, inflammation, and barrier instability. So you can see that all of these kind of work hand in hand with each other and work all together, and it's like a snowball effect a little bit. And then what are the signs of telomere attrition that we were talking about? We kind of went over them a little bit in each section, but you can see here, this is a really good kind of snapshot, right? Because telomere attrition doesn't announce itself like wrinkles do, or it doesn't present itself very obviously. So, that's again going to be things like our resilience, that slower recovery and decline in that treatment tolerance. So when we're talking about our advanced aesthetics, right, we really want to look for these early indicators so we know what support the skin is going to need, how we can be inflammation aware and really target that inflammaging that we see, and also be barrier intelligent and have that intervention and not cause more aggressive or aggression to the skin, right? Because again, being aggressive does not always win you in the end, and it's all about meeting the skin where it's at and kind of slowly starting that healing process so we get those results that we're looking for and we know how to treat the skin as well. And again, I just wanted to break down the 4 pillars of skin health into an easily digestible kind of at a glance for you guys. So how these 4 pillars are going to work within the skin. This is a really great reference for when we're working with, either new products or with understanding the significance of each ingredient in a formulation. So that way we know how it's working within the skin. So we have structural, so that's where it's signaling. We have our molecular, and that's where those topicals are applied. Functional is going to be how our skin is going to respond. And then the barrier is going to be what is keeping it stable as well. So really good snapshot in case you kind of are wondering like, okay, what is this an ingredient and how is this working within the skin? This is a really great way to kind of like intertwine them and make it really easily digestible as well. So when we're talking about clinical implications and treating the skin with that telomere awareness, right, we're kind of going from damage control to that longevity care, right? So we want to make sure that we are looking at this and kind of driving it into that longevity format that we're looking for. So aggressive, again, like I've been harping on in this whole class, aggressive is not always better, right? Aggressive treatments typically fail, especially in compromised skin, especially when that telomere attrition has that reduced capacity for the intensity and we can't recover as we once would, right? And that's going to cause a lot of that dysfunction that we see within the skin. And that's going to shift us from those aggressive treatments. We want to shift them into recalibration, right? So we really want to focus on those longevity focused protocols and how they're going to prioritize that inflammation control, how they're going to keep that barrier integrity there, and also how they're going to support the cells as well. And this is going to be all about treatment pacing. So it's going to become more of that clinical decision. So they may have a longer recovery window, but we're going to be doing smart layering. We're going to have that precise dosing as well. So we're improving those outcomes and also making sure that we are taking barrier intelligence very, very seriously. So that way we're protecting those long-term results, right? We want that skin to be in a state of homeostasis so we can preserve that cellular function and that treatment longevity as well. But the problem is when that skin stops responding, right? And what we as estheticians are seeing we're seeing slower healing, faster reactions, right? And less tolerance. So that is going to lead that treatments that you were once able to do now have a lot of that prolonged redness and sensitivity. And that barrier breakdown is going to start despite doing the correct protocol on your client. So what's actually happening here is that telomere attrition is reducing the cellular resilience of the skin, and it's reducing that repair capacity and that signaling efficiency. So their skin isn't just aging, but it's also losing kind of its communication and it's how it's going to respond predictably, right? Because more intensity, again, does not equal better results, especially when we're talking about cellular longevity and compromised skin. So going from correction to recalibration, right? We want to support those longevity focused skin, making sure that we are looking for things that are smart pacing and not stronger force. So making sure that we are taking those outdated approaches like aggressive exfoliation, faster cellular turnover, no matter what the cost is, and also changing visible damage after it appears, right? What we want to do is we want to have that shift in that mindset, and we want to support the cellular longevity before that dysfunction escalates. So that way we can prioritize that inflammation control. We can help with those recovery timelines and treat that behavior of the skin, not just the condition of the skin, right? So making sure that we're actually properly communicating with our skin so we know what's actually going on. And with that, that leads us to 25 years of proven longevity care and refined care for 25 years, right? So here at Dermastart, we have our multi-pillars that we just went over and that biomarker-based approach. So making sure that before skin longevity becomes a trend, our method is actually going to support this and what we've kind of been talking about. So again, going into the different types of pillars and biomarkers is going to be really important. And some ingredients that you can look out for when we're talking about, structural, molecular, functional, or barrier integrity. You can look for things like urea, Augustaceae mexicana flower, dermosensory correction technology. All of these are going to be really great for supporting the skin and helping to preserve that longevity of the skin and helping with that telomere attrition as well, which we'll get into a little bit later once we kind of go into our products. But talking about the strategies, what are we doing to kind of, begin that renewal process, supporting the skin? How are we going to regulate the skin and protect it and shield it, right? These are all questions that we probably have and that we want to know. So it's not about forcing that renewal. It's all about protecting the condition and allowing those cells to renew intelligently. So first and foremost, we have our antioxidant defense system. So what we want to do is we want to reduce oxidative stress, and we want to accelerate we're going to accelerate that telomere shortening and that cellular wear, right? And with that, that is going to lead us into things like our anti-inflammatory modulators. So that's going to be lowering that chronic inflammation that we see. And so that way those signals are replicating on stressed cells, right? And what that's going to lead us to is optimizing that cellular renewal. So we're going to encourage orderly, efficient cell cycling rather than that stressed and inflammatory cellular turnover that we're used to seeing. And we want to protect everything that we're doing, right? We want to have that insurance for all of the work that we've been putting in. So making sure that we are protecting against UV and HEV exposure. So that way the primary factors don't accelerate that telomere attrition as well. And when we're talking about this, one ingredient that is so great for all of this is going to be retinol. Retinol is amazing because it doesn't slow down aging by speeding up turnover. It slows aging by improving how those cells are dividing. So when retinol causes that irritation or that barrier breakdown, it's actually increasing the stress that is shortening the telomeres. And what that's doing that's your traditional retinols, right? So here at Dermastart, we use an encapsulated formula. And the reason for this is that when we're talking about encapsulated retinols, this isn't going to strengthen that underlying skin, and it's going to improve that cellular turnover while minimizing that inflammatory response and that inflammatory stress. So encapsulation technology is really great because what it's doing is it's surrounding, so creating a protective shell around that retinol. So that way it has a protective delivery system, allowing it to slowly release into the skin evenly, and that's going to improve the tolerance of it. It's going to improve and protect the barrier, and it's also going to help to reduce that irritation that can lead to a weakened skin over time. So encapsulated retinol is that girl, and she's amazing, and that is what we use here at Dermastart. So any of our products that you see with retinol in them are going to be encapsulated retinol, so that way we are protecting the skin as much as we can. And with that, that is going to lead us to those core ingredients. So that was all of the stuff that we just talked about, right? But when we're talking about that antioxidant protection, looking for ingredients like vitamin C, vitamin E, alpha lipoic acid, or polyphenols are all going to be really, really great because these are going to reduce that DNA damage that are accelerating that telomere shortening. Then we have our inflammation and neurocalming ingredients, and these are going to be your ingredients like panthenol B5, niacinamide, babazole, ecotin, and even our dermal sensory correction technology. And these are all going to lower inflammation that are signaling that it's going to lower chronic inflammatory signaling, which is that inflammation that we see. And then we have our barrier reinforcement. So reinforcing everything that we're doing with those ceramides, squalene, saccharide, osmorates. These are going to be great because they are going to stabilize the barrier and prevent that transepidermal water loss and help with that cellular stress that we can see. So that way that cellular repair signaling can happen. So your ingredients like copper C, GHK-Cu, so copper peptides, bioactive peptides, these are all going to support DNA pathways and really help to enhance the skin and support the skin as well. And this is where those innovations are going to meet those results, right? So, like I said, Clear Choice has been standing at the forefront of that longevity driven aesthetics, right? So, we've been advancing skincare through these very clinically intelligent formulations that are not only designed to protect cellular integrity over time, but they're also helping on reducing the biological damage of the skin and helping to repair those signaling pathways, right? So, we're supporting healthier cellular communication and building that resilience. So, when you see a formulation that we come out with, it is engineered not only just for those visible corrections that we're looking for, but also that long-term skin performance that we need as well. So we're elevating those results, not only from in the treatment room, but also holding everyone else to a higher clinical standard in the industry, which I think is something that is really cool and something very unique about us as well. But lots of really good information that we're about to get into. So now we're going to move into all of the products and all about those professional treatments and how to utilize them in the treatment room. So when we're talking about the best professional treatments that are going to be suited for compromised skin, that is going to be all about using our Dermastart aligned protocols that are going to protect that telomere integrity by reducing that inflammatory load, helping to support that barrier intelligence, and helping to respect those repair timelines while also making sure that we have that longevity driven treatment pacing. So all of our protocols are designed to protect those cellular longevity and not accelerate that cellular exhaustion. So this is great for, making sure they're suited for every skin experience, especially those experiencing telomere attrition as well. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about a barrier first recovery protocol. So what our primary goal here is going to be all about reducing that cellular stress, returning the skin back to a state of homeostasis, and kind of protecting that repair capacity. So we're going to focus on things like gentle, non-disruptive cleansing. We want to have that immediate post-treatment recovery and also reducing that transepidermal water loss while building that lipid reinforcement. So some key products here that I like to highlight are going to be our Lipid Balm Cleanser, Osicles B5 Healing Complex, hint, hint, wink, wink. If you want your free one, make sure you stay tuned to get that code. Also, we're going to be talking about our Copper Tide mask as well as our Copper Ice cream. And these are all important because these are going to make sure that we are lowering that barrier stress. So that way we can have fewer forced replication cycles. So first and foremost, we have our Lipid Bond Cleanser. Lipid Bond Cleanser is great because this is a silky gel. So it is a gel to oil formulation, which there is nothing like it on the market and is absolutely a beautiful cleanser. But this is going to turn into an oil upon contact with the skin. And this is full of a lot of really beautiful ingredients. So first and foremost, we have sea buckthorn oil. Sea buckthorn is amazing because not only is this rich in vitamin C and E, but it is full of those omega fatty acids, especially omega 7s. So this has a lot of antioxidants in it and it is going to help to deeply nourish the skin. It's going to help with that repair process and it's also going to protect the skin. So not only is it supporting that hydration that it needs, but it's also improving that elasticity, promoting that regeneration, and making it great for calming inflammation and especially for, our sensitive and dry skin clients. Really, really beautiful. Then we have strawberry seed oil, which I feel like is a very underrated oil in the industry. You don't see it a lot in a lot of products. And strawberry seed oil is packed with oleic acid and omega 3s, omega 6s, and fatty acids as well. So strawberry seed oil has a lot of antioxidants in it that are going to protect the skin from those environmental stressors and help to support that collagen production. So it's going to keep that skin nice, soft, and supple. And it's also going to help to balance those oils. And so this would be really good even for an oily skin client. And it also helps to improve the overall texture of the skin. Then we have fig seed oil. Fig seed oil is great because this is rich in polyphenols and essential fatty acids. So this is going to help to maintain that skin's moisture barrier. So those first signs of aging that we can see, it's going to help to improve the tone of the skin and the hydration. So great for keeping that skin nice and radiant, smooth, and soft and supple. Then we have honeysuckle flower extract. This is such a beautiful ingredient as well because not only is it going to be anti-inflammatory, but it's actually antibacterial as well. So great for helping with reducing irritation, helping with redness, and protecting, again, the skin from those environmental aggressors. And this is great because it's purifying the skin, but it's not going to over dry the skin. It's not going to cause that irritation that we can see sometimes, right? Then we have Centella asiatica leaf, or Cica. You may hear it be called either name. And this is a powerful skin soothing ingredient that's going to support that wound healing. It's going to help with that collagen production, and it's going to strengthen that skin barrier as well. Then we have our new Oceuticals B5 Healing Complex. Again, if you guys want your free one, use the code TMME, all caps, at checkout. Whenever you are checking out, it is free. You do not have to purchase anything. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, be sure to let me know, and I'll let you guys know again the code at the end of the class too as well, in case you missed it. But our new Oceuticals B5 Healing Complex is great because this is a hydro repair treatment that is actually designed to rapidly restore that stratum corneum and help to reduce that trans epidermal water loss, especially with the weather as it is right now, as we're all going through this Arctic freeze. Especially here in Florida, we are not used to this cold weather. This has been a savior for my skin and a savior for a lot of people's dry, damaged barrier, right? This is really great because this is going to have DL-panthenol or vitamin B5 in it. And vitamin B5 is such a great ingredient. It is a cornerstone for that barrier repair, and it's going to accelerate that healing process. It's going to help to reduce that transepidermal water loss. It's going to help with overstimulated skin. So this is great for post-procedure and those clients who are in a compromised state and who need a lot of TLC and a lot of love. Then we have one of our ingredients in our proprietary blend for our dermal sensory correction technology. So that's going to be palmitoidal tripeptide 8. Dermal sensory correction technology is a proprietary blend to us here at Dermastart, in case you aren't familiar, and you will not find it anywhere else. One of the ingredients in that formulation that we like to highlight is that palmitoidal tripeptide 8, and this is a neurocalming peptide that is known for reducing inflammation. It's going to help with redness, sensitivity, and it works by modulating inflammatory signals. So that way it is great for reactive skin types or post-procedure skin, overwhelmed skin. Such a beautiful thing for kind of returning that skin back to that state of homeostasis. Then we have Eco-10. Eco-10 is a powerhouse for helping with stress skin. So this is great for protecting the skin, especially from those environmental stressors and stabilizing that barrier. It is amazing for inflammation and really helps with that signaling pathway as well. So it is great because it is 100% natural as well. So this single molecule is great for helping with things like anti-aging, cellular protection. It also improves damaged, aging, or stressed skin as well. So it's supporting that long-term barrier health and helping to create a cohesive anti-pollution efficiency and helping with blue light protection as well. So you can see that Eco-10 does a lot of really cool things, and has a lot of really great benefits to it as well. Then we have our Aquaxyl complex. So I'm not going to even try to attempt to pronounce those names because I know I'm going to butcher them. But Aquaxyl complex is great because it is going to have these 3 ingredients in there. And what this is doing is it is a hydration boosting system. So this technology works by improving water circulation within the skin. So it's going to strengthen the barrier and it's going to help to enhance that long-term moisture retention, not just hydrate the skin. So it is actually helping with that long-term skin function as well, which is what we've been talking about. And then we have watermelon seed oil. Watermelon seed oil is great because not only is this replenishing those essential lipids, but it's also helping to support that barrier integrity, reduce that moisture loss, and also help to occlude the skin without actually congesting the skin. And it has a lot of linoleic acid in it. So this is great because it is a naturally present ingredient in our stratum corneum. So what this is doing is it is helping to hydrate that skin. And what we know is that linoleic acid is actually deficient in a lot of acne prone clients. So this would be really great too for someone suffering from acne or constant breakouts. This would be a really great product to not only repair their skin, help with that hydration, but also help to soothe and calm the skin as well. Then we have our Oceuticals Copper Tide Mask, and this is great because, again, this is going to have that linoleic acid in there, so it's going to help, again, with that inflammation, help with that stratum corneum as well, but it also has copper peptide GHK-Cu, and again, this is great for helping with wound healing, that repair process, while DMAE is going to be lifting and sculpting, so this is really going to help to lift and sculpt the skin, so great for somebody with very thin, frail skin, has a lot of jowls. This is a great ingredient. Provitamin B5 to help with that hydration of the skin and that healing process. We have azoline, which is very calming and soothing to the skin, and then glutathione, which is that master antioxidant. So it's helping to protect the skin. What's really cool about the Copper Tide Mask too, this helps to remove heat within the skin. So this is great for lowering that skin temperature. So if you have a client you're doing a treatment on them, you notice that they are inflamed, they are hot, they are red, they are itchy. This is like my go-to. I love to apply this, work it into the skin and kind of massage it in lightly. And then I'll take some cold globes and do a few run-throughs with that just to help calm and soothe the skin even more, which is something that I really like and one of my pro tips. Also, if you have a client with very compromised, frail, brittle skin, you can use this as a moisturizer if needed for an overnight treatment as well. So a lot of really cool tricks that you can do with this. Then we have our copper ice cream. Copper ice cream is so great because this is not only going to help to maintain the natural bioprotective properties of the skin, but it's also going to promote keratinocyte growth as well. So this is going to have superoxide dismutase in it, or SOD. Again, you may hear either name. And this is one of our body's naturally strongest antioxidant enzymes. So really, really good for protecting the skin. Then we have ergothioneine, and this is great because this is a mitochondrial antioxidant that is going to not only protect cellular energy systems, but also help to protect those cellular energy as well. Then we have copper gluconate, which is a little bit different from that copper peptide. So copper gluconate is going to be a cofactor for enzymes involving skin healing and helping with that collagen formation. So it's a little bit different. Then we have L-carnitine. L-carnitine is great because this is going to support that mitochondrial energy. So this is going to help with our skin's metabolism and help to reduce that cellular waste and that buildup as well. Then we have bamboo extract, and this is known for being calming and strengthening. Then we have pseudo-altimerous ferment extract, and this is really cool because this is going to support that repair, that hydration, and help to enhance cellular regeneration as well. And then we have glycerin, which is going to be a humectant, so it's going to draw moisture into the skin. So all of these products that we just talked about would be fantastic to get your client on a home care routine before you move into those professional treatments if you want to see how their skin is reacting and set them up for success. So now we're going to go into those inflammation modulating treatments. So what our primary goal here is going to be to reduce that inflammation and that neurogenic overstimulation of the skin. So you can see in the beginning of that little video, the skin's very inflamed and red, and then we're moving it back into that state of homeostasis. So our focus here is going to be precision exfoliation, so microdosing that exfoliation, helping with those neurocalming ingredients, those inflammation-aware actives, and also control that treatment pacing, right? How we're spacing out those treatments. So here we're going to be talking about our neurogenic peels, Lumi enzyme, sensitive peel cream mask. So lots of really cool ingredients there. So Lumi enzyme and sensitive peel cream mask are really great because these are going to be treatment masks. So you can use them in the treatment room to your advantage. If your client's not ready for a peel, or maybe they're a little bit more on that sensitive skin, you can start them there before you start going into peels, or you can do the neurogenic peels. So lots of really great options there. And then this is going to be how we tie in those telomeres to this, right? We want to support that chronic inflammation because we know that that is one of the fastest drivers to telomere attrition. So these are going to help to reduce that chronic inflammation. So we're supporting it by reducing it. So first and foremost, we have our neuroscience peels. So barrier sync is going to be first. So really with this peel, this is going to be the first stepping stone in the neuroscience peel series or peel. So you always want to start your client off with barrier sync, see how their skin does before moving on to the other ones, right? So this is the first stepping stone. So this is really important because this is not only going to support the barrier as the name suggests, but it's also going to help with hydration and provide that mild exfoliation, right? Because when we're talking about strategies, we need to recalibrate those targets and make sure that we are not putting our skin in that defensive mode, that it's being responsive. We're working with the skin, not against the skin, right? So we're restoring the decision capability and that communication within the skin, right? So this is going to be really important because neuropeels are going to really help to manage the influence of those senescent cells also. So these are great for supporting things like, that repair, that rejuvenation, and helping to balance out and kind of clear out those harmful senescent cells as well. So you can see in this formulation, we have a lot of really great ingredients. We have 12% lactic acid. This is great because we know this is a larger molecular structure, also a humectant, so it's going to draw that moisture into the skin. We have papain in there, which is going to digest all of those dead flaky skin cells. Then we have oleic acid, which is going to be, again, really great for supporting the antioxidants of the skin and helping to heal that skin. Then we have glucotonate. So this is a really great ingredient for, again, helping with that cellular communication of the skin. We have milk proteins in there as well, and milk proteins are great. They have a lot of really cool benefits to them. So they are going to not only help with that exfoliation process, but they help with that healing process as well. And then you'll notice in all three of the peels, of the neuroscience peels, we have urea, Augustaceae mexicana flower, and dermal sensory correction technology. So I'm not going to go over them in the other two since we'll go over it here. But again, urea is really, really great for hydrating the skin, protecting the skin, and really calming the skin. Augustaceae mexicana flower is great for reducing that temperature within the skin and supporting that skin's repair process. And then that dermal sensory correction technology is amazing for returning that skin back to a state of homeostasis and helping with those overreactive nerve endings. And then this one is going to have a pH of 3.25, so it's a little bit higher than the other two. And you might be thinking, who is an ideal candidate for this peel? So our skin types that we're going to be treating this with are going to be our first-time peel clients, reactive clients, sensitive skin clients, and also compromised skin clients. So anybody and everybody can benefit from this peel. And this is going to be great for targeting things such as dryness, dehydration, dullness, or uneven texture. With this peel, when you're starting out, you want to do only 1 to 2 layers to see how the skin is going to respond before we go in and add additional layers. So with these peels, we want to take a progressive approach, not an aggressive approach. And I do see a question here, so let's see. So the neuroscience peels are enzyme peels. So they are a combination of chemical peel and enzyme peel. So that some of them do have enzymes in them, which we'll go through as well. But yes, they do have some enzymes in there. So really great, again, for those more sensitive, more reactive clients. Then we have our neuroscience Clariplex peel. This one's going to be lower on that pH scale. So this is going to be a pH of 3. And what this is doing, this is actually a multi-action exfoliating treatment. So you can see it has multi-acids in it. This is great because this is going to help with that overall clarity of the skin, as the name suggests. You can see that the names of these two kind of coincide with what we are trying to target, which makes it really easy in the treatment room to know, okay, I want to give this client clarified, clean, clear skin. I'm going to go with Clariplex because they're acne prone, they're congested, they have a lot of breakouts. So it's really good to help with identifying what peel would be best for what client. And what's really cool about this peel is it's going to help not only with those excessive surface oils, but it's also going to improve the redness of the skin. So helping to reduce that redness. It's going to help with uneven tone, and it's all going to do that without compromising that skin barrier. So again, great for combination skin, oily skin, clients who deal with a lot of blemishes as well. So this is going to have 2% salicylic acid in there, and that is going to dissolve all of that oil. So kind of help to liquefy that sebum. We have glycolic acid, which is a very itty bitty molecule. So that is going to exfoliate the skin very evenly and rapidly. And then we have azelaic acid, which is great because this is going to be antibacterial and antifungal, all of that great stuff. Great for rosacea too as well. Then we have niacinamide or vitamin B3, really great for helping with the overall texture of the skin. And then again, that urea, Augustaceae mexicana flower, and that dermal sensory correction technology. So here, this is going to be great for, again, those oily, more combo skin clients. And we have our, this is going to be great for things like breakouts, clarity, congestion, texture, and inflammation. And with this one, you can do up to 6 layers as well. Again, for my clients, I like to take that progressive approach. So what I like to do is I'll start them off with barrier sync. I'll do 1 to 2 layers of that. The next time they come in, we will do maybe like a Clariplex or a Biofade. I'll probably do about 3 to 4 layers, depending on how they're feeling. And then the next time I see them, all the way up to that 6th layer, just to make sure I can see how their skin is reacting. We can see and make sure that there's nothing that we need to be on the lookout for, make sure that they are following that proper home care as well, just to kind of keep ourselves in those checks and balances as well. And just make sure that we are supporting our clients as well. Then we have Biofade. This is going to be the last one in our neuroscience peel collection. So again, Biofade, as the name suggests, this is going to be our brightening treatment. So great for helping with that visible discoloration and helping with the overall clarity and tone of the skin. So this is great because this has 12% lactic acid. So again, that larger molecular structure and that humectant. Then we have 18% mandelic acid in there, and mandelic acid is going to be the largest molecular structure. So great for more sensitive, reactive clients. Also great for pigment. It's going to be great because it's also antiviral, antifungal as well. Then we have 5% tranexamic acid, which is a powerhouse for targeting pigment. full of a ton of different peptides in there and a bunch of different antioxidants as well. And then that urea, agastache mexicana flower, and dermal sensory correction technology. So you can see the ingredients in here are amazing. This is also great for somebody or a client who doesn't want to use any hydroquinone, because this is going to be a much gentler option. So great for targeting things like dullness, redness, early signs of aging, and just helping with that overall brightening of the skin without the downtime of your traditional chemical peels. And again, this is great for all skin types. It does have that lower pH of 3, so it's a little bit more intense than that barrier sink. So great for, again, pigment, aging, residual acne marks, melasma, rough texture. And again, you can do up to 6 layers with this as well. Then we want to go into that regenerative support. So we don't want to overstimulate the skin, but we want to support that skin. So our primary focus here is going to be supporting that fibroblast signaling while also respecting the limits of that cellular activity as well. So think of things like we want to look for peptides, copper, and looking for those extended window coverings, right? Maybe giving the skin a little bit more time to heal than we traditionally would. So things like our copper tide mist, vitamin K, or advanced K, and our vitamin CB5 are all going to be really great products for helping with this. And this is going to mean smarter recovery with fewer sessions. So we have our copper tide mist. You have probably heard us talk about this 1,000 times, but for good reason. This is such an amazing product because not only does it contain those neurocosmetic peptides that help to decrease immune reactions and mechanical stress, but it also alleviates those irritating symptoms as well. This is full of copper GHKCU. So this copper peptide is amazing because not only is it improving the barrier, but you can also use this on your roots as well. So this is great for our barrier and our face as well. So really healing, it's going to help to extend those antigen and catagen phases in that hair growth cycle if you're using it on the scalp. But for the skin, it's going to be great for that thin, frail, brittle skin that we can see. So this is going to be really great for making sure that we are supporting that skin and helping to thicken that tissue. And then we have our tripeptide 2. So this is going to help to delay cellular synthesis, while that acetohexapeptide 49 is going to work to alleviate any itchiness. So this is inhibiting that inflammatory factor and helping with improving that tingling sensation that we can get on the skin. So this is great for very disruptive, moody, irritated skin that's kind of going up and down and haywire. Really great product for that. Then we have our SH oligopeptide 1, and this is a naturally occurring EGF. So this protein is going to work to bind to the cell's receptors. And what it's doing is it's activating and that cellular regeneration. So great for that structural support of the skin. So great for those compromised cells, that compromised tissue in the skin. It's full of a lot of amino acids, 53 to be exact. And this is going to help with that DNA replication in the skin that is going to help with that wrinkle formation. So it's great for wound healing and also helping to delay aging. And then we have Tamarisk indica seed extract, and this is really great for helping with that wound healing and calming and soothing the skin as well. And then we have Advanced K. Advanced K is one of my favorite serums. I've been using this for years. I feel like this does not get enough love. This is great because this is rehabilitating damaged skin and actually renews underlying tissue. So this is going to be great for clients who, have rosacea, bruise very easily, have a lot of swelling. Great for patients who do a lot of cosmetic surgeries or procedures as well. And what this is doing is this has USP glycerin. This is like the gold standard of glycerin in the industry. And this is really great for, again, drawing that moisture into the skin and hydrating the skin. So really helping to target that inflammation, give us that hydration. And then we have vitamin K. Vitamin K is amazing because this is going to provide that antioxidant protection, and it actually accelerates that wound healing process. So what it's doing is it's actually helping to reduce dark circles, and which is really cool. So if you wanted to use it under your eyes as an eye cream, you could do that. But it's also helping with that anti-inflammatory factors as well. So it's helping with that inflammation that we can see in the skin. And then we have squalene in there, and we know squalene is very similar to our natural sebum. So this is great because it helps to oxygenate the skin. It's non-comedogenic, and it's really great for helping to add that hydration to the skin without overdoing it and causing that kind of heavy film, which is something that I love. Then we have Vita CB5, which is like my tried and true. I've been using this for the 10 years that I have basically been working at Dermastart, so that says something. Vita CB5, I cannot go a day without it. This is one of my favorite serums ever. Anybody and everybody can benefit from this. And as an acne prone girly, it is very hard to find a vitamin C that does not break me out or cause irritation. And I have never once had an issue with this, and neither have any of my acne prone clients as well. But anyways, Vita CB5 is great because this is going to help with texture, tone, and clarity. This is great because it has retinol palmitate or vitamin A in it. So this is going to encourage that healthy cellular turnover and help with removing those slow functioning or aging cells. And what's great about this is it's such a small amount, you're not going to get retinal rash. It's not going to cause irritation. Then we have L-carnosine. L-carnosine is known for its anti-glycation properties and helping with that cellular longevity support, like we've been talking about, that we need today. So this is going to help to protect those proteins, and it's also going to delay cellular senescence as well. Then we have DMAE in there, again, helping to support that firming of the skin and helping to lift. So this is great for that cellular membrane integrity. So, and again, this is going to indirectly help with supporting that senescent cells. Then we have Q-Ceratin. Q-Ceratin is great because this is a flavonoid, and this is great because in the research that we have found with this ingredient, it is going to support and combat cellular aging pathways, while that CoQ10 is really great because this is going to protect that mitochondria and also help to maintain that energy production in those aging cells. Then we have that Centella asiatica, and there again, this is helping to support that repair pathways and that communication, while vitamin C is going to help with brightening the skin. It's going to help with that oxidative stress. It's going to help with DNA repair, and it's also going to help to support that collagen as well. Then we have green tea extract in there, which is a great anti-inflammatory and skin soother as well. Now, moving on to that smart exfoliation and that surface renewal that we're going to want to do. So what the whole primary goal here is going to be all about helping with that signaling renewal without actually accelerating cellular fatigue. So we want to focus on microdosing acids, smart exfoliation, right? Enzymatic versus stripping of the skin, while also altering exfoliation and helping with those recovery cycles as well. So we have our microdose in here. We have Lumilacti-C. We have skin rehab. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are exfoliating properly, so that way it is communicating with the skin, not demanding from the skin, right? First and foremost, we have our microdose cleanser. Microdose is amazing if you are looking to start introducing retinol into your routine without getting that, typical retinol rash that we see. And this is supporting that cellular turnover. So this is going to be full of NADs. NADs are great because these are a vital enzyme that is going to boost that cellular energy, and it's going to help with that DNA repair. So what that is doing is it's helping to combat that oxidative stress. And by restoring those declining NAD levels, right, it's not only doing all of that, but it's also improving skin firmness, elasticity, in the overall health of the skin. So this is promoting a more youthful appearance to the skin, while also helping with that cellular longevity and that cellular repair as well. And then we have our retinol. Again, we use an encapsulated retinol here at Dermastart. So again, this is helping to really help to calm and soothe the skin, but also give us all the benefits of retinol. So this is going to be great for things like fine lines, wrinkles, dyschromia, and helping to build more even resilient and more youthful appearance in the skin. And then an ingredient you don't see talked about a lot in our industry is actually hyacinth extract. Hyacinth is great because this actually boosts radiance in the skin, and it acts as an antioxidant support. And we have our glutathione in there, which is great because this is a master antioxidant that is going to support clarity and brighten the skin. And then again, we have our dermal sensory correction technology. So we have that palmitoyl tripeptide 8 and that acetyl tetrapeptide 40 in that formulation. And again, these are both bioactive peptides that are going to support the skin recovery and reduce irritation. While those saccharide isomerates are so great because they strengthen the barrier function, reduce that transepidermal water loss, but also help to improve the skin smoothness, that texture. So it's building resilience in the skin. It helps with that elasticity. So this is a really great ingredient for more dehydrated or compromised skin. So again, really great for those clients that you want to start introducing that gentle exfoliation and those gentle actives into their routine without pushing the skin too far. And then we have biphenyl methane, and this is a great ingredient because what this does is it actually rebalances that negative environmental effects on the skin. So it's great for that stress that we can't see. It's great for clients who live a very stressful lifestyle and helping to reduce that stress as well. Then we have mini facial. Mini facial is great because this is full of a lot of antioxidants and it helps to give us a nice, good, deep exfoliation without pushing the skin too far. So this is going to have horse chestnut in there, and horse chestnut is so amazing for the skin. It's very soothing to the skin. It's actually one of the most studied ingredients in the skincare industry, in case you didn't know. But we also have soy isoflavonoids in there. We have amino acids, and these are all great for helping to protect the skin and helping with rebuilding the skin. We have hyaluronic acid in there as well, which is going to help to hydrate the skin. We have those wheat proteins, which are going to help with that exfoliation process as well. We have allantoin and evening primrose extract, which are going to be really great for helping to calm and kind of soothe the skin. And these are going to help to maintain that moisture and that skin functionality. So it's optimally functioning as well. And this is great because it gives you a nice deep pore cleansing without pushing the skin too far, and really great because you can use it as a scrub or a mask or both. Me personally, I like to use this in the shower. I like to work it in for about a minute using gentle circular motions. And then while I wash my body, shave my legs, all of that fun stuff, I like to leave it on as a face mask. Really great for clients suffering from a lot of closed comedones, blackheads, whiteheads, non-inflamed acne. Really great product. Then we have our DNA pads. DNA pads are amazing because these are going to be smooth on one side, textured on the other, so you can control how intense the treatment is and how exfoliating it is. So this is going to be really great because it's full of retinol and retinol palmitate. So these are both forms of vitamin A, and this is going to stimulate that cellular turnover while removing those old dead skin cells. So that way those skin cells can function properly. And then we have tripeptide 9 and then tetrapeptide 3, and these are great for helping with cellular communication. So these are going to be our regenerative, our repairing, and our helping pathways. So these are helping with that skin function to build that long-term skin health as well. Then we have green tea, alpha-babazole, and azulene, and all of these are great because these are going to help to calm and soothe the skin and help with that inflammation. While that allantoin in there is going to be really great because this supports that tissue repair and also helps with activating those healthy skin cells as well. And then we have vitamin D. Vitamin D is going to be great because this is going to support those cellular differentiation and also help to keep the skin functioning healthy and optimally as well. So lots of really great ingredients in here. Then we have Lumi-Lactate C Serum. Again, another really underrated product, but this is great because this is going to be repairing, brightening, and stimulating for the skin. So we have 10% lactic acid in here, and this is, again, great because it's going to gently exfoliate the skin, but also help to attract moisture. Then we have 15% vitamin C or ascorbic acid in here. So again, helping with that brightening, protecting the skin, really helping to make sure that skin, it has a nice even tone as well. We have USP glycerin. Again, this is like the gold standard when it comes to barrier recovery and humectants. Really, really great. We have vitamin Pro B5, again, for helping with that hydration. So that way what we're exfoliating, we're still hydrating. And then mallow extract is going to be really great because this is really rich in mucilage. So what that is doing is it's soothing the skin, it's softening the skin, and it's helping with being anti-inflammatory. So this is really great because it helps to perform a protective film over the skin. So great for compromised skin as well, and really rebuilding that nourishment and that comfort within the skin as well. And then again, we have our anti-wrinkle retinox, again, going in with that retinol that we've been talking about. This is great because it has that encapsulated retinol treatment in there. So it's going to have retinol in there, which is really great because, again, it's going to help with that fibroblast activity. It's going to help to thicken that skin tissue. It's going to help with that cellular turnover. We have DMAE in here, again, to help with that lifting and sculpting. Retinol palmitate, again, using that encapsulated formula. Centella asiatica to help to calm and soothe that skin. And then Eye Bright, which is going to help to brighten the skin as well. Then we have Skin Rehab. Skin Rehab is such an amazing product. Skin Rehab is great because this is going to help with that barrier reinforcement and help with that natural moisture balance. This is full of a lot of electrolytes. So this is going to be from that coconut water and that coconut fruit juice extract. So this is going to be electrolyte rich, and it's going to be full of a lot of biomimetic lipids. It's going to be full of those antioxidants as well. So this is helping with the skin hydration and the skin vitality. While that blue poppy seed oil is going to be great because this is high in linoleic acid. So great for helping with that barrier repair and helping with that inflammation reduction. Then we have our olive derived squalane, like we talked about a little bit earlier, which we know is a biomimetic lipid that is going to mimic the skin's natural oil. So great for preventing transepidermal water loss, helping to strengthen the barrier. It's not going to clog the pores. It's also oxygenating as well. And then we have avocado oil in there. So this is full of a lot of fatty acids, and it also has vitamin A, D, and E in there. So it's going to nourish and repair the skin and also help with supporting that barrier function and the regeneration of the skin too as well. This is amazing. Also, as an acne prone girly, I love this because it gives me all of that hydration and nourishment I need without feeling heavy on the skin. Acne prone clients, dry skin clients, compromised clients, post-treatment clients, anybody and everybody can benefit from this moisturizer. So really good to keep in your treatment room, just in case if you ever need it. Now going into that longevity centered maintenance. So our primary goal here is protecting those telomeres between those professional treatments, right? So making sure that we are having that barrier reinforcement, that anti-inflammatory signaling, and also that antioxidant defense. Again, some really good ingredients for this are going to be lactibiome, or products are going to be lactibiome, intense moisture, and urban shield. And this is great because this is going to create those consistent results that we're looking for. Home care is great because this is not only going to reduce biological stress on skin cells, but it's going to help to maintain that repair capacity and support that long-term longevity of the skin as well. So it's helping it to optimally function in between those treatments as well. First and foremost, we have Even Tone here. Even Tone is amazing because this is going to be a hydroquinone-free tyrosinase inhibitor. So this is going to be really good for helping to brighten the skin and making sure that we are helping with those pigment irregularities that we can see. And this combined with professional treatments, I'm telling you, is like, oh my God, it knocks out pigment beautifully. So this is full of our dermal sensory correction technology that we've been going over today. Also full of a lot of glutathione. So again, helping to brighten the skin and maintain that antioxidant support within the skin. Then we have tranexamic acid, which is known for reducing dark spots and helping to prevent future pigmentation as well, which is really cool. Then we have azelaic acid in there to help to refine that skin texture and also help with acne-related discoloration. We have niacinamide in there, which is going to strengthen that skin barrier, also help with that tone and texture of the skin. Then we have quercetin and Engelhardia cordyceps leaf extract, and this is really great because this is going to shield our skin from those environmental stressors, while that diacetylcholine is going to help to regulate that melanin production, and it actually helps to create a uniform complexion. And then we have vitamin C in there. So this is going to be great for protecting the skin from oxidative damage while also brightening the skin as well. Copper ice pads are amazing. I love, love, love these. These are awesome. One of our ambassadors, she's actually a makeup artist, and she likes to use this as a makeup prep as well. So that's a fun tip with them. Love it. It creates a very beautiful, smooth canvas. But what they're also benefiting our skin, right? They're helping with that wound healing benefits, and they're also helping to regenerate the skin. So we have that copper gluconate in there. So this is going to be really good for making sure that we are healing that skin and helping with that wound healing process. Vitamin D, green tea leaf extract, kind of getting ahead of myself, is going to be great because this is a potent antioxidant. So this is going to help with major triggers of that senescent cell formation as well. Then we have vitamin D in there. Vitamin D is great because this is going to help with that cellular differentiation, so helping to keep the skin nice and functioning healthy. Then we have sodium hyaluronate to help with that hydration in the skin, and then allantoin. And allantoin is really great because this promotes tissue repair within the skin and actually helps with promoting healthier cellular activity. Then we have that pseudo-thermals ferment extract, and this is great because this is actually derived from a marine bacteria. So this is actually really good for helping with hydration in the skin and helping to protect the skin and minimizing pigment as well, or dark spots. Then we have lactibiome solution. Lactibiome solution is great because this is a multitasking lactic acid solution. So this is going to brighten, it's going to balance, and it's going to refine. So it has 10% lactic acid in there, again, helping to gently exfoliate while hydrating the skin. Then we have our Augustaceae mexicana flower in there, and this is great because it's anti-inflammatory. It has a ton of antioxidants, but it also helps to lower that skin temperature. We have inulin, which is going to be one of the pre and probiotics in there. So this is great for helping to maintain a healthy skin microbiome and helping to strengthen the skin barrier and improve the hydration of the skin. Then we have that dermal sensory correction technology in there, and that Cica or Centella asiatica leaf to help with that wound healing process, and then beta glucan to help with delivering that exceptional hydration in the skin. So helping to calm that irritation, reduce that redness, and support that natural repair process as well, and building that more resilient skin also. Then we have Intense Moisture. Intense Moisture is great. You can add this to your moisturizers. You can use it as a serum. You can use it as an occlusive on top of your moisturizer too, just depending on how much moisture you want. This is going to be 100% olive pit derived squalene. So again, helps to oxygenate the skin. It mimics our natural lipid production in our skin. So very hydrating, very soothing, doesn't leave an oily residue as well. Then we have Urban Shield. Urban Shield is great because this is full of squalene. It's going to have alpha lipoic acid in there, borage oil, allantoin, and chamomile. So very soothing to the skin, but it also has a beautiful green tint. So great for calming that fiery red skin, but also adding in that hydration as well. And this does have some zinc oxide in there. So it's very anti-inflammatory as well. And then we have Sport Shield. If you know her, you love her. She's a fan favorite for a reason. She's acne safe, lightweight, hydrating. This has 12% zinc oxide in it. This is also going to have aloe vera, alpha babazole, alpha lipoic acid, squalene in there, evening primrose. So super, super nourishing and hydrating to the skin. So it's going to have a lot of really great benefits in there as well. I do see a question here. Let's see. When I use Urban Sheer post dermaplaning, it burns. Why? I am not sure. I have never had a client complain about the product burning. It may be the technique with dermaplaning. Some clients are a little bit more sensitive than others. Usually, if I'm dermaplaning, what I like to do is I like to use things like sodium hyaluronate afterwards. I like to use the copper tide mist. Those are all really great. And then I will use Sport Shield afterwards as my kind of moisturizer and hydrator, just so I'm not using too many products on the skin, since it is, open and we have just done a treatment on it. But I'm not sure why it's burning. I can definitely ask our team and see if they may have any insights to that. But from my professional opinion, I've never had anybody have that issue, but I will definitely talk to our team and see if they can give me a little bit more insight on that as well. Alrighty, perfect. And if you guys, I did want to mention, if you do want any of the protocols for the neurogenic peels, please email me hello@dermastart.com and I will get those protocols emailed over to you. This will tell you how to prep your client, what products to use, pricing, all of that beautiful fun stuff, and really kind of get you into all of those protocols as well. But that is it for today's class, guys. Again, if you want your free Oceuticals B5 Healing Complex, use the code capital TMME at checkout, and you will get a free Oceuticals B5 Healing Complex. If you guys do try it, please, please, please tag us on Instagram or Dermastart Professionals in our Facebook group. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know how you love it. If you have any questions, you can email me hello@dermastart.com. All of the products that we talked about today can be found on our website at www.dermastart.com, or you can call the office at 866-589-2949. We're open Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursdays, 9 to 5, and then on Fridays until 4 p.m. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. I had such a fun time talking with you all about telomeres, and I can't wait for our next class. I will see you there. I don't see any questions, so I will let you guys log off for the day. Bye, guys, and thank you so much for everything, and I hope to see you in the next class.